American Top 40.
Well, now here's a fellow who, on the Saturday morning cartoon show, Scooby-Doo, Where Are You?, sings the lead on the theme song. But you know, I think I sing the lead on the theme song in that show. I think he used to sing it, because I play the part of Shaggy, Scooby's best friend. And I'm the one who says, Scooby-Dooby-Doo, where are you? I know what you're thinking. Maybe they should have let him sing it again. Here's Austin Roberts with Something's Wrong with Me. Andy took a job driving a big quarry truck. You know, the kind with air brakes that go choo-choo and a 15-speed gearbox. We have 3 acts in the survey, either formed or based in Boston. There's Ecocogy, the band Boston, and the band Till Tuesday. Nearly everything's banned in Boston.
American Top 40.
Johnny Rivers has had a lot of hit records, but this one has been around on the chart longer than any other. At number 6 for this week, moving up one notch, Johnny Rivers, Rockin' Pneumonia, and Boogie Woogie Fluid. Right now at number 26, it's time for Fleetwood Mac and Say You Love Me. That's Say You Love Me, this week moving up to number 14.
24 years ago, back in 1985, one of the hottest songs was By Heart. Here's Alone. 22 years ago this week, back in 1987, Alone by Heart.
Up on the Roof, Locomotion, Will You Love Me Tomorrow, that great one by the Shirelles. Take Good Care of Your Baby My Baby by Bobby V. My name's Casey Kasem, and before I start with our weekly countdown of the 40 most popular songs in the USA, I want to say thank you to my old buddy Bob Eubanks for sitting in for me last week. If he starts up the newlywed game again, maybe he'll let me be a contestant. You're listening to American Top 40. I'm Casey Kasem. Now, let's look at a dance sensation that's sweeping the nation. It's called Da Butt, and that's also the title of the song behind it. You bend your knees, you lean over a little, get your rear in gear, and start bopping to the funky sounds. And usually that's the record called Da Butt by the group Experience Unlimited, also called EU. No one's sure how many months ago Da Butt dance started or in which city, but it seems like everyone's getting behind this one. Clubs have weekly Da Butt dance contests with cash prizes. The song is featured in the movie School Days by filmmaker Spike Lee, which has helped spread the dance to a wider audience. The record by EU was a #1 smash on the Black Singles Chart, made its debut 2 weeks ago here on AT40, and is butting in at number 35 this week. So shake, rattle, and roll, and do Da Butt. Here's EU. Well, we've had 4. #1 song sung in Italiano, Nippon, Francais, e Espanol. Details and one of those #1s coming up. Back on the beach at Darwin, Iva caught his breath and then ran around warning everybody that there's a huge crocodile lurking offshore. Nobody seemed too excited. Darwin's out in the frontier, and here was this city boy from Sydney getting all upset. A friend told him, "Not to worry, mate. We know. We've seen a couple of them around here lately. In fact, 2 folks were gobbled up last summer." 25-year-old Robbie Neville must be enchanted or enchanté with C'est la vie. Details coming up, or should I say, Einzelheiten kommen später. Andale vamos, come on, let's go, by Los Lobos. In Sweden, this next group would be introduced like this. Nu kommer Björn Skifs und Blåblues. Björn Skifs is the leader, and Blåblues in Swedish means blue blues. In this country, they're called Blue Swede.
We are WRAR, Savannah, Virginia.
This is 50,000-watt Casey 152, serving Ventura and Santa Barbara counties in California.
And this is 152-pound Casey Kasem from Hollywood, California, on American Top 40. It's an eagle-eye view of the decadent lifestyle they see in Southern California. Of course, that's just the Eagles' opinion. I don't want the L.A. Chamber of Commerce demanding equal time here.
Number 13.
There isn't enough time before the vocal starts to give the full name of this recording act. It's the Partridge Family starring Shirley Jones and featuring... Now the current hit by the singing star who had his memory knocked out of him one night in an auto wreck. And the only thing he could remember about himself when he got out of the hospital a couple of days later was that he was a singer. His current hit is at number 31 this week. Here's Lou, you know,
There was a time when if someone told you to do something, you did it.
Gloria says it was the band's idea to put her name out front. She told writer Ron Fell, "When they showed me the record cover, I said, 'Can't you make my name smaller? It's embarrassing.' Well, they thought Miami Sound Machine was too impersonal. They wanted a face with a name, but I still cringe when I hear it." End of quote. At number 11, here's What's Her Name and the Miami Sound Machine. Can't Stay Away From You. The new number one song in the USA is by Gloria, play it Dave,
Estefan,
and Miami Sound Machine, Anything for You. It was adapted from the beginning theme of Beethoven's Fifth Symphony, better known as Ta-Ta-Ta-Tam. Here's the Walter Murphy Band and the 10th biggest hit of 76. We kick off our special survey with a number one hit from the summer of 1985, the summer they found the Titanic. Even after being underwater for over 70 years, the ship still looked great. Or, as Billy Crystal might have said back then, it looked marvelous. Now, we're up to the hit song by ZZ Top and the story the band's guitarist tells. 34-year-old guitar player Billy Gibbons long ago had a run-in with one of the most famous tough guys in movie history and found out he wasn't so tough. It happened back in the 1950s when Billy was just a little boy. Well, the Gibbons children, Billy and his younger sister Pam, were sent off to the hotel's swimming pool. But the pool was packed. So the kids, bored, started wandering around the hotel. And who did they come up upon in one of the lounges? But a big, big movie star. The star of classics like The Maltese Falcon, The African Queen, and Casablanca. It was Humphrey Bogart. Billy and Pam slowly, shyly walked up to the film legend, but before they could say a word, he turned to them, took the cigarette dangling from his lip, and said, "You need a chair, kids? Here, sit down." And then the toughest guy in the movies proceeded to buy him a soft drink. He talked with them about where they lived and where they went to school. Then, after a while, their father showed up, wondering where his children had gone. Bogey said to him, "These yours? They're nice kids." And that was the day little Billy Gibbons found out that Humphrey Bogart's screen image was just an image. Now, Kenny says he had a deep voice for a 14-year-old, plus he could do an impression of Jimmy Stewart. So Kenny gets Charles Williams on the line and he says, Mr. Williams, this is Mr. Clayton from West Lane Junior High School. Here he is, Kenny Babyface Edmonds, with his group The Deal at number 16 in the countdown with 2 occasions. We're counting down to a chapter from the AT-40 Book of Rock and Roll Rowdiness. It's about the night a famous band threw a party in their hotel and invited 29 live chickens. That foul story is coming up. There's a singing group in the survey who named themselves after a man-made miracle substance. We wear it, we walk on it, and we first used it to brush our teeth. It's polyhexamethylene adipamide, of course. Up next, the lowdown on some American slang. Dig? Coming up, an AT-40 salute to a great American hero on his 50th birthday. Faster than a speeding bullet, more powerful than a locomotive. His first comic book appearance is worth as much as $25,000. Super details are coming up, and away!
Casey's Coast to Coast.
Up next, a hit by the top new act of the year. They're the Three Stooges of rap. Yup, 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 yup. You know, one of the most famous figures in baseball is New York Yankee Hall of Famer Yogi Berra, who's also famous for his unusual way with words. And there's a song in the survey that takes its title from Yogi's most famous saying. That song's coming up when it comes up. This is Casey Kasem in Hollywood on AT-40, and earlier this year, Grand Funk's lead singer Mark Farner had a haircut. But he didn't throw the trimmings away. Something told him that he'd be able to put that hair to good use. Then he heard about a college TV station in Pueblo, Colorado that was going to hold a charity auction, and they were inviting celebrities to donate personal items that could be sold. So he sent them his hair. And some of the locks of Mark Farner's hair went for $50 apiece. Now, I'd never pay that much for something there was such an abundance of. I'd give you $50 for a lock of Telly Savalas' hair, but not Mark Farner's. You're listening to a male chauvinist countdown, the 40 most popular girls of the rock and roll era. It's time now for the current hit by the popular group whose producer and namesake is Donald Byrd, the Blackbirds. Now, you know, Donald has been one of the top jazz trumpet players in the business for many years. And would you believe we once played together in the same band? It was an intermediate high school band, but we did play together, and it was when I was 15 years old. Donald Byrd was the star of the brass section, and I was the hotshot drummer who wasn't satisfied with the simple 1-2 beat. That's what the director wanted me to do. Not I had to give it those extra licks. So the band director warned me, and he warned me again. And when I went into my fancy licks a third time, he said, "All right, Kasem, you're out." And that was the end of Casey Kasem, Boy Drummer. Up 6 notches to number 7, it's Mickey. Rah, rah, sis, boom, bah.
Oh, wow, man.
I know what you're thinking, listener dude. Do my ears deceive me? Au contraire, mon frere. That's Homer Simpson's baby boy, all right, Bart Simpson.
Oh, wow, man.
Well, cowabunga, dude. Bart's got his first top 10. The Hen House 5 plus 2, alias Ray Stevens. In 1977, that record, believe it or not, made the top 40. And the countdown clucks on.
Surfing USA.
Surfin' USA, a classic by the Beach Boys that made waves twice on the chart. Great for this summer, too, as an AT40 extra, as the countdown hangs 10. In July, that song became the first top 10 hit for Rhythm Syndicate. Passion, it's the 39th biggest hit of 1991. I'm Casey Kasem on our Casey's Top 40 year-end special. Seasons in the Sun, originally recorded in French by the man who wrote it, Jacques Brel, then translated and recorded by American Rod McEwen. And then, a couple of weeks ago, it became number 1, sung in Canadian by Canadian Terry Jacks. That's a song Britain's Phil Collins recorded in a Stu studio. Stu Studio, coming in at number 17 in our special survey.
Come on, shake your body, baby, do that conga.
Ow! Miami Sound Machine and Conga.
I feel good. I feel good.
Ow! The one, the only James Brown. Girlfriend, 23-year-old Pebbles, moving from 13 to 9 with her first top 40 hit from her debut album called Pebbles. Bam, bam! This is Casey on American Top 40. Here's a band from that original penal colony, Sydney. They celebrated their bicentennial week at number 1 on the American chart last month. Now at number 14, here's In Excess with Need You Tonight, Mate. Our favorite palindrome is a double one. It's a hit song title by a recording act whose name is also a palindrome. The song from 1975 is SOS, and the group is ABBA. This week, ABBA moves up 4 notches to number 35 with a song whose title backwards is Atitikich, forwards Chiquitita. New dialects of Pig Latin keep springing up. The old familiar one takes the consonant from the front of a word, puts it at the end, and adds the sound A. So the name Pig Latin comes out Igpe Attenlay. But for the Pig Latin that Frankie Smith uses in Double Dutch Bus, the formula is different. Instead of moving any of the word's original letters, you simply add the syllable ILZ, I-L-Z, right after the first consonant. So the name Pig Latin would be Pilzig Lilzatin. And my name, Casey Kasem, would be Kilzacy Kilzasem. After losing 15 pair of shoes, he still had enough shoes left to completely outfit 2 centipedes. His latest hit is up 5 notches to number 12 this week. Nobody with more soul than Al Green. Now, over the years, we've had 5 Danish acts hit the top 40, including one of the wildest. They were a group of singing dogs. Danish details will be wagging. Coming up, the biggest number 1 song by a woman in 3 years. When this lady recently filmed the video for her number 1, she had a close call with the king of the beasts. And I ain't lying. This week, Blondie's recent number 1 smash, The Tide is High, falls 12 fathoms to number 27. The tide was high. Every afternoon for a month, Lisa put on her costume and trotted down to New York's massive Pennsylvania station, where she entertained thousands of harried commuters with her impression of a happy prune. It was all part of a promotion put on by the Prune Growers of America. And Lisa told us that in all honesty, it wasn't a bad job. In fact, it was a peach. No, a plum of a job. Every day she'd put a new wrinkle in her routine. And because she had to be a cheerful prune, she was never in the pits. Ooh.
I'm Casey Kasem. This is American Top 40. We're counting down to the Kings of Rap. In Queens, New York, they formed their act. A trio who rap and haven't gone wrong. Coming up, their first hit song. The Kings of Rap at number 89. From New York City, They Be So Fine. They cut an Aerosmith song from way back when and then took their hit to the very top 10. So run, Daryl and Jam Master Jay. Run DMC, Just Walk This Way. Hi, this is Casey Kasem. You know, 1990 was the biggest year ever for rap music on the pop chart. MC Hammer got rap's first pop #1 with You Can't Touch This. And Vanilla Ice scored rap's biggest charting pop hit with his smash Ice Ice Baby. Will one of those songs go on to become the #1 hit of the year? Well, as the rappers themselves might say, to find out, get with us this week on Casey's Top 40. Peep this. We're going to check out the hypest hits and the deafest jams of the year as we count down the top 100 of 1990. Word up, it's going to be dope. So be there and peace. Now the former #1 song from a movie about the two most popular lovers the world has ever known. An AT-40 special by Henry Mancini that topped the chart in 1969. Who were the... Wasn't Liz and Richard. Not Frankie and Johnny. Not David and Julie. It was Romeo and Juliet. And this was Henry Mancini's version of the love theme from the movie about the two most famous lovers the world has ever known. An AT-40 special. And most recently, we had a hot sax at #1. Who Can It Be Now by the Australian band Men at Work. And that's our AT-40 sampler of the saxophone in rock and roll. And the countdown honks on. That's Poison with a track from their CD, Flesh and Blood. It's called Unskinny Bop, as the countdown shooby-doo bops along. Well, now on American Top 40, at number 35 in the countdown, is a melody that began as a religious hymn, then became the most popular drinking song in the English language, and is now, once more, a religious song. I doubt that anybody in an English-speaking country listening to me today hasn't at least heard that old drinking song. It goes something like this. How dry I am, nobody knows how dry I am. Well, the melody was composed by an Englishman in the late 1800s for a Christian hymn. But some years later, somebody took the tune and added the How Dry I Am lyric and created what has become possibly the world's best-known drinking song. You know, the great lyricist Ira Gershwin, who passed away just a few weeks ago, wrote a lot of wonderful songs in his lifetime. And one of the songs he wrote went like this. Roly-poly, eating solely, ravioli, better watch your diet or bust. That song, with slightly different lyrics, became an American standard and a 1967 hit by The Happenings. Details coming up. Now you know why I don't sing. Falling in Love, falling from number 25 to number 28. And Richard Marx's mother even sang on some of those commercials, like Quasar by Motorola. Quasar, that was his mom's voice. Coming up, the third consecutive top 40 hit by a singer who was first heard nationwide singing that memorable hit, Crunchy, 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 Nestle's Crunch is so crunchy. He sang memorable tunes like Crunchy, 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 Nestle's Crunch is so crunchy. And If You Believe in Peanut Butter, Clap Your Hands. Now, he sang them a lot better than I did. Well, now we're up to the latest hit for Aerosmith, a band whose charismatic lead singer says he used to be, quote, the ultimate nerd. Soon, Stephen withdrew into himself, and any time he did try to participate in school, he'd do something goofy, like the time he tripped and knocked over a whole table of light bulbs in his physical science class. Stephen says he remembers as the bulbs broke, he could hear everyone, even the teacher, laughing at him. Even I'm laughing at him. And I wasn't even there. Things like that made him feel terrible. 6 Valley boys who grew up to become Toto. And like they totally moved from number 18 to 13 with I'll Be Over You. I'm so sure.
Some people live their dreams.
Up next, the band that came back with a new face. It's Van Hagar. Hi, this is Casey Kasem. Well, here we go again, beginning that annual ritual called the New Year's Resolution. We'll say things like, I resolved to climb Mount Kilimanjaro and then learn how to spell it. Well,
Well, why not take on one that's fun? Just say, I resolve to find out who has the #1 hit of 1990. And then keep your promise by joining us for a special Casey's Top 40 Countdown. The top 100 hits of 1990. It happens this week. Don't miss it. Picture this, an old house at the end of the street, where the doors creak like ancient bones. You walk cautiously across a floor that sags under the weight of years. It's dark, and it's musty in here, and you feel spider webs dragging across your face. Wait, what was that sound? Is someone else in here? And over there, what's that? A shadow in the mirror. Or just a shadow in your mind. Your heart slams away in your chest the way broken shutters bang in a high wind. You've got to get out. You scramble toward the front door, but it slams shut and it won't budge. The air is a frozen blast that chills you to your bones. And that's actor Vincent Price getting the last laugh on survey song number 21, Michael Jackson's Thriller. 20 million sellers to go on our way to the biggest selling single of the 1980s.
Casey's Top 40.